last week was a very busy week for US dollar, as we saw the US dollar decline from the top, which is as a result of the various economic activities that was dropped last week, ranging from the FOMC to the CPI and to the unemployment news. So welcome to the weekly Forex forecast. This is Ambafx. So before we continue with the technical, let's check the economic calendar of last week, the economic activities of last week and the economic activities of this week. I said last week is a busy week for US dollar, and last week weekly Forex forecast I told you guys that week is for US dollar, and then we saw the GBP rally too after the interest rate hike speech from the Bank of England. So on Monday we don't have major news on Monday last week. So but on Tuesday we have the CPI, which comes out below expectation in US dollar, which forced drag US dollar lower against the major currencies. And then on Tuesday also, after the Bank of England governor speaks, so his speech bring about the rate hike sentiment, which drive pounds, which make pounds rally last week. On Wednesday we have the GDP coming out of the pounds, which comes out as expected. On Wednesday also we saw the US CPI. The month-over-month of the core CPI comes out as expected, while the PPI, that's producer price index, comes out as expected also. But the core PPI comes out as expected, while the PPI comes out below expectation. So with all this catalyst last week is what make US dollar decline from the top, which make it weak. And then following the FOMC, the federal rate fund statement, which they owed the rate, so and then it's a dovish statement right there, which even contribute to the US dollar pressure, which make US dollar weak last week. So last week also we saw the unemployment rate from the AUD, the employment change from the Australian dollar, and before then we have the CPI comes out better than expected in AUD. That is a couple of weeks ago. Then we have the unemployment rate still coming out better than expected, better than the projection. So which means that AUD strength is still coming to stay. And then on Thursday we have the FOMC of the we have the monetary policy of the euro, which they did what they raised their interest rate by 25 basis points. So the euro raising the interest rate by 25 basis points, coupled with the US dollar, which owed their interest rate, and then which most of the major catalysts, that is the economic activities, coming out below expectation, is as a result of the euro USD rally more than 500 pips last week. So and then we have the pounds rate hike statement expectation, and then the US dollar weakness, which make GBP USD rally beyond expectation last week. Last week is sold for US dollar, and we saw the major catalyst dragging the US dollar lower last week. And then on Friday we have the monetary policy of the Japanese yen too, which they say there is no need for interest rate hike at this moment, and then they owed the interest rate at minus 0.10, which make the JPY to weak last week, because some of these statements are dovish statements, not when the interest rate is owed, there are some statements that will follow that maybe it's a hawkish statement or a dovish statement, but the statement that follow the JPY monetary policy is a dovish statement, and we saw it in the currency pairs last week. We saw AUD JPY going up above expectation, and then we saw the USD JPY, the franc JPY, even US dollar JPY that are supposed to drag lower based on the economic sentiment of US dollar, still pump. So which means that JPY is one of the weakest currency last week, followed by US dollar. And I said it last week that the JPY weakness continue last week, and the AUD strength continue, and it's play out. So let's check out the economic activities of this week. So this week on Monday is is an economic activities free day. On Tuesday we have the monetary policy minute out of the Australian dollar. But on Wednesday, this week is solely based on pounds, based on GBP. We'll have a big volatility coming into the pounds pair this week, and then it might actually drag make pounds rally or drag it down below expectation. So let's see how it goes right there. So on Wednesday we have the GBP CPY, that is year over year, which they predict to slow down, that is from 8.7 to 8.4. so on Wednesday we have the Fed chairman Powell testify to, that is on Wednesday. On Thursday we have the Swiss franc monetary policy, which they propose to 25 basis points interest rate hike. Let's see how it goes right there. So on Thursday too we have the press conference coming out of the Swiss franc. Then we have the monetary policy, and then the official bank rate from the Thursday. We have the interest rate hike speech from the Bank of England. So actually we might have a 25 basis point rate hike coming out of the pounds this week. That is we might have 4.75 rate hike. So that is from 4.50 to 4.75. That's 25 basis point rate hike. But in this, all expect rate hike, because there is no any speech or anything that favors rate cuts on pounds this week. So expect rate hike. Is it that 25 basis points or 50 basis points? So on Thursday we have the unemployment claims out of the US dollar. This week is not for US dollar, it's for pounds actually, but expect this one to have its major impact in the market. And then on Friday we have the French manufacturing PMI, French flash PMI, German flash PMI, and then German manufacturing PMI coming out of the euro right there. And then Friday too we have the flash manufacturing PMI, service manufacturing PMI out of the pounds, and then US dollar. So this week too we have some economic activities this week that bring volatilities into the market, especially from the pounds, from the USD, from the euro, and then from the Swiss franc. So let's see how it goes right there. So let's go back to the technical. So last week we saw the DSY decline from this area back below this particular level, and then with the economic activities still supporting US dollar weakness. So this week you might just see a retracement before we see the continuation to the downside in the DSY. So let's see how it goes right there. So I'm favoring maybe Monday we might have a bullish setup to this particular area, then we have a rejection, then we'll be back to 1.101092, which is the bottom at this particular area. And the next couple of weeks we might have a rejection or a break of that particular level right there. So that's what I'm looking at on the DSY. So the first pair I want to take is the euro US dollar. So if you check this area, you see that we have some resistant levels at this particular area, and then we have this daily candle close, which closes with a reversal pattern, that is with a doji candle. So actually you might see a reverse from here. So but the whole bias is still to the upside. So any retracement you see at this area which bring about a breakout should be an opportunity for you to look for a bullish setup. And then I think the next resistance level should be looking at this area should be 1.10652, but actually we might see a big pullback at this particular area before we see a breakout to that particular level right here. So that's what I'm looking at, but always wait for pullback at this area. So the pullback might actually end at this particular area because we have a reversal pattern already, and if we have a bearish candle closes below this reversal pattern, it means that we can still see a more reverse to this particular level, and then maybe the buyers might now actually come in at this level, then drag the price to 1.106652. So let's check good, and good to this level to and good is a very strong level, and then we have not actually break this level at this particular area, and we have a fake break here, then it did what? It closes above it in the daily time frame. So my bias on this is to the upside, as we have the dollar weakness. So any thing you see here, if you see a breakout here, should be an opportunity for you to look for a move to 2028. And then there's another thing I wanted to look at here, because in trading, if a support level or a resistance level is tested so many times, it's prone to break out. So actually this one has been tested so many times at this particular area. So anything can happen in trading, so don't overrule the possibility of it breaking out at this level, then maybe finding its way to 1812. But all the bias we're having now is against the US dollar, which means that US dollar is weak. So which means any adjustment you see which is above this particular area should be an opportunity for you to look for a bullish setup to 2028. So that's that on good. And US dollar JPY last week, as we have US dollar weakness, and then the JPY has weakness too, but JPY is more weaker than US dollar last week. That's why you see US JPY rally to this particular area, and then this level is a critical level to what you might have a pullback to this area. So any retracement you see at this level should be an opportunity for you to look for. It might pull back here to gather momentum and then break this particular area to the upside, because the whole scenario is still to the upside. But always expect pullback, because this move is a very big move to the upside. So always expect pullback at this level. So any pullback you see to this area should be an opportunity for you to look for a bullish setup right there, and a breakout of this particular level in US dollar JPY. So let's pick all the US dollar pairs first. So this is the GBP JPY, and then we saw the GBP strength last week coupled with the US dollar weakness, which make this GBP USD rally throughout last week. So here too, we are still looking for more move to the upside. So this is the first target right there, which it has hit, and it has break it out on Thursday. We have a breakout of this first target, that is 1.26712 last week. So the second target is about to hit, that's 1.29570. So actually we might have a pullback on GBP US dollar, as Monday is just a free day in terms of the fundamentals. So any pullback here is an opportunity for you to look for a move to 1.29619. and in GBP you have to be careful this week, because most of the fundamentals are going to be dropped this week on the pounds. So you have to be very careful trading GBP PS this week, because it will be more volatile this week. So let's check another pounds pair. This is another pounds pair right here. So yeah, on GBP Swiss franc, we have Swiss franc monetary policy coming out this particular week. So let's see how it goes on this particular currency right here. So we are still in a range. So if we have a breakout of this particular area coupled with maybe a retracement, then we can look for a bullish setup at that particular area. But for now, I don't advise anyone to trade anything between this range at this particular area, unless we have maybe a rejection of this area, then maybe a rejection back to 1.10586. So but I don't expect anybody to trade anything within this particular range zone at this area. So what I'm expecting is a breakout, maybe we test, then we can now look for a bullish setup to the next or nearest resistance level, where the opposite effect actually comes in to the market. So AUD, last week we talked about the AUD CPI and then the unemployment rate coming out of the AUD, and then the pound strength, which drag AUD pounds to the multi-month high last week, that is 97.554. right now is at our target right there. It's always almost hit our target right there. Sorry, that's almost hit our target right there. So checking the weekly time frame, you can see that on AUD, actually we might just look for retracement and continuation to the downside, or continuation to the upside rather, because yeah, I can't boast of anything at this particular area because it's just moving. If you check the daily time frame, you see that the momentum of the movement is just too much, like it's just moving for like 10 to 15 days straight up. So you understand? So if actually we'll see maybe a retracement at this level, then we should be looking for an opportunity to continue the uptrend movement in JPY, because JPY to we are still expecting JPY to keep this trend at this particular, because most of the fundamental are on AUD side. I'm talking about AUD, not JPY. So I'm still expecting AUD to keep the rally, because most of the fundamental is on the side. But if you have the Japanese yen coming in to intervene, then we should maybe have a big pullback in this particular area. But for now, I'm still aside. I'm still watching this particular pairs. I'm not on buy bias, I'm not on sell bias. I'm still watching it. Maybe we can see a major reversal right there, or we can see a pullback that will prompt us to follow the trend at that particular area. So the next pair we want to check is Euro AUD. If you check the Euro AUD right there, as we still have AUD strength and then Euro strength, but for now this level is like this level want to hold at this particular area. As you can see, this support level right there that will mark up last week, but we might see a fake breakout too, and then we might see a break back into that particular level. So don't rule that out. But right now you can always wait maybe for 2 days straight to see, maybe you see a bullish movement on this, and then you join the trend back to the upside right here to this particular eye right there, because we have USD strength still playing out after the euro. We have the euro strength still playing out after the euro increased their monetary policy, their interest rate by 25 basis points, and then euro strength AUD strength too is you can't rule out the AUD strength too. That's why we don't have much move here last week, because both the currency, the euro and the AUD, are stronger. So that's why I don't have major move here last week. But this week, if you have one that actually lose guard out of the two, then maybe you have a move to the upside or a break of this particular level, then maybe a retest and then a move below that particular level right there. So I'm still watching Euro AUD, but I think this particular support level we hold right here. So last week and then 2 weeks ago, we sell this pair from this particular area, and then it hit our take profits right there. So you can check last maybe 2 weeks or last week weekly forex forecast we did. So right now you can actually see a bounce at this particular area to maybe 1.62076, where the opposite effect might actually come in, or we might have a break of this level back to 1.53027 right there. So let's see how it goes on that. So the next one we want to check is Euro Canadian dollar. So this one, now we're actually waiting for a rejection at this area, because if we put the Fibonacci retracement, it tells us that the market actually reject at 61.8 level right here. So after it rejects, if we see a bearish candle close at this particular area, then we should see Euro CAD back to 1.42909. But if we see a bullish candle maybe close on Monday, then should take us back to this particular high. But my overall bias is to the downside. That's why I actually put this arrow right there, that even if you have a retracement here, then we should see a break of this particular level. That is a breakout with the trend right there. You know, the trend is down, so actually we should see a breakout with the trend. If you use resistance at this particular area, I know it's wrong to use your hand to draw a resistance trend line, but I just use the dot so that you can connect the dot at that particular area. So then we should see a move. So if you check the 4-hour time frame, let's check the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame is actually showing a sign of rejection at this particular level, but might have rejection back to this level and then maybe a breakout of that particular level. But we have a rejection of this supply level right here, so actually we should see a move back to 1.42909 right there. So let's check the next pair, which is AUD US dollar. So as we are still not seeing the US dollar weakness and then the AUD strength, I believe we should still see more move to the upside in AUD USD, and it's been moving fast. Like we have a what is it called? We have a move here, retracement move here, a move, retracement, then we have a boom to this particular area right there. So actually we might actually see a retracement back to this level right there. So if we check this particular pair right here, we should be looking for a big pullback at this particular area, and if there is no pullback, I'm not willing to enter AUD USD. I will only enter it a buy position if I see a pullback at this particular level. Then I will do what? I'll continue to do what? To the upside on AUD. And don't forget that last week we have the AUD unemployment and employment coming out better than expected. A week before then the CPI comes out better than expected, so which means that the Australian economy is very strong right now, so don't rule that up. So the next pair we want to check is the AUD Swiss franc. You see this one here, I'm expecting a breakout at this particular area, because actually if we want to see a maybe a rejection at this particular area, we will not be seeing this much rally at this particular area. So I'm actually expecting a breakout at this particular, and if we see a pullback here, then it should not last to this area before we have a continuation to the upside. But this area, I don't think there is actually much rejection that will happen at that particular area. So what I'm looking at is a breakout to the first target. That is, if you have a breakout, maybe a small rally, then a small retracement, then a breakout to 0.61933, which is first target, and then 0.62428, which is the second target, which means that the opposite effect might actually come in at that particular area. Because if you check the bigger picture, you can see something at that particular area right there, as you can see. So this is the big picture right here. So it might actually rally to this area, then we see a rejection at that particular level. So the last pair we want to check is SND US dollar. So checking the SND US dollar, let's go back to the daily time frame. As you can see, we have a breakout of this level right here already, but I'm trading this on one condition: if there is a pullback to this level back to 0.61893, then I will be buying to 0.62920, which is the first take profit level, then 0.63754, which is the second take profit level. But I'm looking for a pullback to this level, which actually or we might actually see it rally to this area first, coming back to this level, then it might actually form a head and shoulder at this level, then going to 0.63754. So that's what I'm looking at on as in the US dollar. So thank you for staying with us this time, and then this is the weekly forex forecast. You can check there is a link in the description box containing the broker, containing the pro firm, containing our Telegram channel. So you can join our Telegram channel. That's where I will be dropping the live signal. That is the trade I'm about to take each day, the entry, the exit, and all. So join us in the Telegram group, and then sign up with our broker, which is a fast and reliable broker, which have a minimal spread with no commission and no swap fee. If you join the Hot Forex, just register on the pro account with $100 minimum deposit. You won't have to pay for swap or to pay for any commission, with 0.5 pips spread, very tight spread. And then join our reliable, my funded FX, and then my Forex fund. Those are the two pro firm that I trade, that I've withdrawn from. So we'll see next week, and don't forget to trade safely.